BBC News at midday. Inflation has fallen to its lowest level since March 2022, despite food prices continuing to increase at near record levels. The cost of living rose by 8.7% in the year to April, down from March's figure of 10.1%, but still around half a percentage point higher than most experts expected. Sarah Coles from the financial services company Hargreaves Lansdown says despite the fall, today's figures are still bad news for most people.
Inflation is still quite a long way ahead of wages. So wage inflation was lower than 7%, and now we're seeing inflation higher than 8%. So it does mean that we will find ourselves struggling to make ends meet still. Prices are still rising. One of those things about inflation that people can get confused by is they think falling inflation might mean falling prices. In terms of petrol at the pumps, that is true, but in most cases, it just means prices are rising more slowly.
The Chancellor, Jeremy Hunt, welcomed the fall but said rises in food prices remained worryingly high. Karen Betts is the boss of the Food and Drink Federation, which represents manufacturers. She says her members are struggling.
Prices have gone up so much for consumers because costs have gone up right through the supply chain, from farming right through the manufacturing sector into retail. The cost of everything that has gone up. Our manufacturers have seen energy prices go up, their wage bills, packaging, transport, their borrowing costs, and ingredient costs go up across the board.
The Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, will not face a formal investigation for asking officials about arranging a private speed awareness course after being caught speeding while she was the Attorney-General. Rishi Sunak said her handling of the situation could have been better, but after consulting his ethics advisor, the Prime Minister decided she did not breach the ministerial code. The Liberal Democrats called that decision a cowardly cop-out. The Conservative MP, Matt Warman, says this is a vote of confidence in the Home Secretary to get on with her job.
It's right that the Prime Minister is focused on those really major issues, whether it is immigration, whether it's the economy. It's right that the Home Secretary gets on with the job. And I'm not sure it is right that we spend as much time as we do talking about the sideshow issues, and hopefully we can move on from this one now as well.
The South Wales Police Commissioner has maintained that officers were not chasing two teenagers who died in a bike crash in Cardiff on Monday, but he said video footage showing two people on a bike being followed by a police van in the area had to be investigated. Officials in the Belgorod region of Russia say it had come under attack by drones again overnight. Ukrainian authorities have denied any involvement in a cross-border raid, which Moscow previously said had been defeated. Paul Moss reports.
They thought it was over. Russia said it had defeated a group of saboteurs who crossed into the Belgorod region from neighbouring Ukraine. But the local authorities now say villages are still being successfully targeted. Ukraine continues to deny it's involved, although there have been claims that American-made armoured vehicles were spotted taking part in the incursion. Vehicles the US had supplied to the Ukrainian government. Perhaps rather pointedly, the US State Department has now commented on the situation, emphasising that it does not encourage attacks beyond Ukraine's borders.
An Australian police officer who tasered a 95-year-old woman inside her nursing home has been charged with 3 counts of assault. Claire Noland, who has dementia, has been in a critical condition in hospital since the incident last week. Police say she approached them at a slow pace with her walking frame holding a steak knife. The officer has been suspended. The streaming service Netflix has begun to enforce its crackdown on people in the UK sharing their passwords. Customers are also being notified that they'll have to pay an additional fee if they want to share their account outside their homes. The move is intended to boost customer numbers, but in some countries where it's already been introduced, people have reacted by cancelling their subscriptions. BBC News.